Hello everybody, this is Kurt with the Nick and Kurt Experience, and I am here solo playing some Medieval Engineers. Basically what I wanted to do is load up one of the pre-existing worlds, and this being the castle. As you can see, it's a castle, yay! I'm going to go ahead and try and test a couple things and see if I can make the game lag out like it does when Nick and I are testing our worlds with what we built. So basically, you're just going to be here along the rides for when I make cuts and building some sort of siege machine that's probably going to fail outright, but I just want to test and see like if I do similar tactics to what I did when we were trying to record our last episode, maybe it'll happen in this one too, and then maybe we'll find out it is just a limitation of the game so far. If not, though, that'd be great if we found out something new. So let's just get to it. I'll be a little bit more inclined to show more of the building process than we were going to in our video, just for the fact that, this is going to be rather short. Um, it's just a quick test or anything like this, and I absolutely adore this game and like how the physics work in it and how the engine's working and like for the most part how um, well it runs on my computer. Just because like it's a physics game largely based on your CPU and your CPU processor, your CPU's processing power. I'm not sure if it's heavily reliant on a single core strength, or if it is reliant more on the quad core. I haven't really looked that up. Come on, control work. Okay, there it goes. So I didn't look any of that up, but I know for a fact that like, just between Nick and I, Nick has a AMD CPU. Yeah, AMD CPU. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. And then I have a Intel CPU. His is older though. That's the reason why we can't compare the two. But for the most part, his doesn't run as well on certain things as mine does. But I think it has to do with it being older, not because it's AMD. But I also want to test to see if I can reproduce the same issues we've been having on a pre-made world such as this. Because if I can reproduce the problems that we've been having, then I know for a fact that we can probably just go ahead and say that, we could chalk it up to lag due to the game's engine so far, and not to one particular reason or limitation within the game itself. Because like originally we thought the windows, so not these archways, but let's see if there's a window I can show you. Yeah, whoops. Oh yeah, these right here. So these windows, Nick had a ton of them. I explained this a little bit in the Warframe video last. These windows, anything I thought were causing major frame rate issues because every time I threw a large projectile through them, it would cause severe lag, and then it would crash the game. Turns out later, once I was trying that later, it actually wasn't that because it started happening regardless of what we were using, stone walls or that. So yeah, now I'm just trying to figure out if I can reproduce it on a completely different map from the two we built. Because now we have a theory that it might be if you use a lot of these stone foundations, the stone block cubes, if you use a ton of those and pack them really high on top of each other, we have a feeling that that might be causing the lag because it's like it collapses under its own weight. And that collapsing effect causes lag because it's like cascading. Whoops, I right-clicked instead of T. And it makes sense. Like that's how a normal building would collapse. Like if you break the majority of the foundation of a normal building, you would eventually get the whole building to have like this cascading collapsing effect, which this game does very well. But if it does it all at once, I think it sucks too much power out of each of our processors, and it just totally destroys the entire thing. Why are you not rotating, sir? Well, that's strange. Let me redo this. But yeah, I figured I might as well just take you guys along for the ride, seeing as, Nick and I both have a little bit. He's having more stuff to do with his cat. And it's just been exhausting to him and stuff like that. So we decided we would record some individual episodes of some things we were doing. You are not turning now, sir. Why? Oh, am I too close to the ground, maybe? No? I'll put you a little higher anyway, I guess, just to see. But yeah, we decided we would record our own things today. Don't worry, no problems. No problems at all. It would just be helpful for him so he can get some rest in and such and be a little bit more leisurely today because he kind of needs it. And then I can go ahead and try to test this out on my own accord because sometimes you get distracted when you're... Yeah, okay, that was weird. You get distracted. I mean, I do anyway, as you can tell, like right now. But when you're talking to somebody while playing a game like this where you kind of concentrate really hard... Oh, yep. there's that seashore of doom. Stop. So I will put a brace right here. It's just much easier to go in it solo. And I figured, people might be interested in, some troubleshooting that I do occasionally on games like this. And for the most part, too, if anybody's wondering, I am not building this catapult to be, procedurally correct, if that makes sense. I'm not building it to make it look pretty. I am literally building it as quickly as possible to test with. So, like, I don't want to waste 40 minutes of anybody's watching, any of you guys watching's time building something that looks fantastic but doesn't play correctly. Because, that would not be fun for you guys to watch me just sit there and lollygag around and make like this massive trebuchet that winds up to be too big and I get the dimensions wrong and so then it barely launches more than 2 feet when this kind of thing is simple. So I also left on quick saving so then, or the autosave just because I didn't really feel like I needed to worry about it. Oops. Oh, there you go. That was weird. I bumped it too hard. You stay down here right now, you hear? You here, boy? Okay. And quick save, yes. And let's see what happens here. Somebody is a good engineer. That thing barely took any damage. I look super silly now, don't I? As you could tell, though, like, as soon as you get used to the game's mechanics, it's just like anybody that first starts playing Minecraft or something, it will make a lot of comparisons to that game just because, like, it's a similar kind of idea, except this is a lot different. But, did I? A drawbridge? What? They made a drawbridge? I'm jelly. Does it work? Or did I break it already? Wow. So that's, oh, okay, so I can steal that for like a double firing catapult. I was really testing that out, now I know how to do that. That way it goes down, that way it goes up. Perfect. Okay, anyway. Distractions aside. I'm just going to keep firing some rocks at this son of a bitch and see what I can come up with. I might just give up and start throwing projectiles just to see what happens, but, this is the kind of game where it's like, you can't really just play it methodically and, like, do one thing over and over again. You got to really screw around in it to make it really fun for you because, otherwise you get bored of it fast. And it was the same idea like I was saying with Minecraft, like I was trying to say before I got distracted, is if you sit there and you just do like, the same things over and over again, you get bored of it, and that's why I kind of got bored of Minecraft right away. Not right away. I played it for a while, but then got bored of it, and why we wouldn't really do videos on it unless if we did something specific, like if the Ether mod came out for it and was actually, up to date when the game itself was up to date, which it never is. I'm just gonna break you with a freaking hammer. That's what we kind of wanted to do, like when we would play that all the time. That's the exact thing. The exact same thing you do is you'd sit here and you would test, and test and test and test and see if you could figure out, what works and what didn't work. And this is the same idea, same concept. I'm getting up here and I'm trying to test this to see if there's a specific reason why the things we're trying to do. Why did that spawn too? I wanted to just... Did I break you? What just happened? We want to see if, like, it's reproducible or if it's just what we built, what we made a mistake on, so... Rambling aside, which is what I love to do. I love rambling. We're just going to go ahead and keep firing rocks at this son of a bitch. There we go. I took that off so I would fire a little bit lower so I can hit more of the castle itself, so... Shh, don't tell anybody. Oh, that was a good shot. Wow, look at that. Oh, wow. Good shot, cannon. Yep. A big boosh. Oh, you hit yourself. See, from what I can tell, it doesn't look like this castle has the same issues that ours do. I love the physics in this, though. Woo! I want to know how to make that. There's like... Look, okay, hold on. Hopefully I don't destroy the whole thing before I show you guys. Cool windmill, right? You think that it's attached to stuff? Well, I am a little bit confused on how it works, because there's nothing freaking inside this thing, so how the hell did they make it turn on its own? I put the same things when I was playing with it originally. I could not get the rotor to turn on its own. It just sat there. So I wonder if there's like a way to add like a wind effect to the game that actually does make it turn or not. I don't know. I'm being dumb probably too. Yeah, screw your windmill. Yeah, see, like, you get lag in this because, nobody's processor is so good that they can handle every little effect. But I can tell right now, like, I didn't get any issues breaking those arches like when I did before, when I was playing Nyx. So just by comparison, now that I've finished kind of breaking a lot of this down and testing it and not really getting any issues like I normally would, yeah, see, I'm not really getting the issues that I would when Nick and I were playing. Yep. All right, just as a test, I'll show you guys. I know, and some people are gonna be like, "Why didn't you watch the rest of it fall?" I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm only kind of sorry. I'm a little sorry. And I also apologize for the loading screen. I would cut them out, but I like you guys to read a little bit of the wonderful quotes they have in the game. Mechanics is the paradise of the mathematical sciences because they, by means of, no, never mind. Sorry, it's gone. I had to get a drink too. I decided to start this before I wetted my whistle, and now my throat's dried out, and I'll make weird noises, and it's not fun. But just by comparison, here's Nyx. Originally, oh, you didn't get to see the video. Originally, there was little arch windows all around this, so you could see through it. Like now, it looks really stupid. This is not what he built before. And I thought those were the things that were causing the issue because this would go right through one of the windows whenever we started trying to record our destruction. You guys saw in his video, like you saw the windows, I'm sure. So when I changed that, it started working and then it stopped working again. So we'll see if today it's working or not, but let's see if I can get the reproducible error. Nope, it's working just fine today. That's really crazy. It's just hard to reproduce. I can't get it to reproduce. Let's see if I can somehow. No, I'm getting perfect destruction now. It could just be possible that we were playing it long enough that a reboot of the computer would be in order. Yeah, no, it's collapsing flawlessly now. Don't tell Nick I'm doing this on camera. Shh, he will never know. But you would get this where this would start happening and everything would start collapsing on its own. And you would literally get something that looked like and I'd be able to move only at 2 frames a second until it gets so stuck I could only look up and down in the vertical and the horizontal would not move. So it was a good test. It was a good test to see what the issue was. And Nick, I'll let you know, but you'll probably watch this maybe at some point. Yeah, this is working fine now, so we could probably get this recording on. Yeah. All right, so I guess for the next video then, or the next part of this, testing with Kurt. I'm not going to call it that, by the way. I know that sounds stupid. Let's try this. I think this is the first thing I started building in this game when I first got it a couple days ago. Yep. Okay, so this is all like the failed trebuchet and anything that didn't work. I'm not even going to show you it. Nope, I'm not even going to do that. That's what I first built. I was pretty proud of this up here. It's really fun to destroy, but I was thinking of testing some more trebuchet work, but not that one. That one's pretty terrible. So I think I'm going to go ahead and build one, cut off the video here so you don't have to watch me build the trebuchet the whole way. But this is the kind of stuff like you can go haywire like with this and build some pretty neat looking stuff. And as you can tell, anybody that's watched any of these so far, yep, I really like cylindrical towers. I think they look awesome, but this is also before we found out how that you could drag a lot of these. So like a lot of the stairs and stuff like that could be improved greatly, but it's a fun little game. I mean, honestly, if anybody really wanted more of a review than anything on a game like this, sure, it has its kinks, but it's alpha. If you don't understand alpha, no offense to people that really don't, but if you don't understand alpha, though, and you buy alpha games and you say it's crap, well, it's an alpha. That's why. They want people to buy it that really want a game like this to flourish. because if it flourishes, then they'll know that they can continue working on it and it'll be good. It's kind of like a Kickstarter kind of idea. You want to put your money into it because you want to see it build, you want to see it progress. And I have longed so much for a game like this with destructible physics in a medieval type sense. Medieval times, medieval engineering is so freaking cool. So before I get to building that trebuchet, who would I be if I didn't destroy this? So let me quick save real quick. Otherwise, it'll probably save while I'm destroying it, and I'd be sad. Yeah. The funny part too is like the more I play this game, the more I realize I'm pretty okay. I mean, there's people that are always better than you. No matter what you do in your life, there's something that's always gonna be better than you for the most part at anything you try. Not to be discouraging, that doesn't mean don't try. You know, always try because you want to try to be that guy that says you're the best. But like, there's always that going to be that one guy that you build something that you find so freaking epic, and then you look over and there's a guy that built the entire Holy Roman Empire. It took him a couple years, but he built the entire empire from scratch again, picture perfect. And you're like, really? To scale and everything too? You couldn't even miss the scale up. You had to be that good. Wow. Okay, I was gonna say you should fall by now, dude. Hey, look at that though. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and quick load. I'm going to try to build a trebuchet, and I will be right back with you guys. Hopefully, the new trebuchet I try to do, I'm going to do a smaller scale. The one I have there is pretty terrible, so I'll be right back in a minute. And I will show you, excuse me, I burped. That was rude. I will show you what I come up with, and hopefully what I come up with actually has some sort of meaningful impact, because I'd rather not have a quote-unquote limp dick trebuchet, as Nick and I were making fun of it last time. So see you guys in a minute, and wish me luck. Hey guys, just real quick too. I think I figured I might as well give a couple little hints or like advice if somebody's getting stuck on how to build certain things or like build things correctly. I'm just making like this crappy little stone like square to shoot a catapult at. So just a quick word of advice too. If you're looking in the instructions and you're trying to figure out something, you can see how like there's like a thing that says compounding. So say like you see how this happens right here and you're trying to get to sit down there and you're like, I can't figure it out. Compounding essentially means when you hold Alt, it'll literally go into the red box from the white box. So typically like the game tries to choose, hey, I assume that you probably don't want to let these two textures like intersect with each other all the way. So I'm going to assume that the correct way you want to doing it, you would want to wind up doing it, you know what I mean, is putting it above it, right? Well, if you use the compounding, it will mesh the textures together and allow you to put it into the wall as such, as you can see. It's a really helpful thing on top of like, the other simple techniques where if you stand like this and hold control and then slide your mouse this direction, it will automatically fill that entire line. It's a really helpful little thing to figure out. So like, see there, it won't let me, no matter what I do from this angle, put it like that. And if you're sitting there trying to rack your brain of figuring out, just hold Alt. It'll allow you to put it into that box. And there you go. It's good to put it back and then ba-da-doom. It's very, very helpful to figure that out early on. Otherwise, you have quite a hard time trying to figure out how to build simple little objects. Believe me, I had the same issue. So anyway, I'll be right back again after I build a trebuchet or an attempt at a trebuchet or give up and make a catapult or become a stripper and give up. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get it there. So be right back, guys. Okay, everybody. We're back. Yeah, so this took a little bit of effort, and as you can see, I've had a couple mistakes. Those were like this building here, I tried to save them by pasting them in other positions in case they broke. There's an actual built one right there. Yeah, so I was making like this little kind of housing thing to shoot at. Then I realized when I was downhill kind of from here, it was kind of screwing up, and then this collapsed on its own. I think I probably had like a stray thing hit. But basically, if I actually did the correct math, as you can see, this is really, really close because this doesn't fire that far. It would fire farther and it would probably hit to about there. So, but you really actually have to do kind of the math on this to get this to work properly because I can't get the correct lever arm length and stuff like that. I mean, I know a little bit of basics, like, if you want to make a correct trebuchet, there's a pretty good assumption that a 1 to 4 lever arm would work. So 1 for the weight to the 4 on this. So this is pretty much exactly 1 to 4. So one of these bars fits in here 4 times. I have the pole, or not the pole, the sling distance and anything to be you know, guesstimated correctly. This should be probably pulled a little bit farther down though too, and this should probably be level. So when it comes out, it goes out like that and out. So I have to make some tweaks and stuff like that. But I didn't want to waste 4 hours getting this correct just for a proof of concept idea. Because I mean, many people have tried to make trebuchets in this, I'm sure. So I decided to make something that would relatively work. It will work better when I make more, and I'll probably actually going to use a smaller ball the next shot. So we'll see. But lots of weight, long lever arm, anything like that. The heaviest ball I could fire. So here we go. Boom. So you can see it launches correct. That all looks correct and anything. It's just I'm not getting the distance on it, but it looks damn good. So, I'm not too upset with it. So I'm going to go ahead and try this. I'm going to try... Oh, goodbye. Goodbye. I'll miss you. I'll try a smaller ball. I'm kind of just ganking something together here. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Just to knock them this direction. I don't really care. I'm not going to save this world. This is literally my muddled up test world. Everybody has a world like this if they ever make a building game like this. You playing it, you have a test world. You start off where you're just like, what can I screw around with in a creative environment? Right. I have to be a little bit careful with this too. This is the other thing. I need to fix this in a future build. Not having it so when you pull that it goes, because as you can see I have stoppers. Otherwise it would pull it off of the mountaintop, which is, it's fun. What? Oh boy. Here we go. I touched it. Maybe you can't attach rope to the little mini balls? I'm not sure. Oh, look. I should just copy that one. Wait, let me see. Real quick. Look at that. Okay. They put it in the middle. It pulls it down. They have a long, long sling on there. Maybe I need to put a longer sling on mine. That's really, really long. Does he attach it beforehand? Before he lets it go? Does it have to be at the apex? Maybe that's true. Well, let's test some things here. First of all, let's test this. Does this... Okay, so the mini balls you can't use for anything other than catapults. Oh, well, I'm an idiot. Do that first. I did do that last time, I think. But yeah, you can't connect the mini balls. Okay, that's a good start. 2, it looked like he let the lever arm... Let's just see it. As you can tell, though, like it's just the very apex of my throw. It has to do with the sling of some sort. I'm assuming. I'm not guaranteeing. I'm assuming. If I actually sat down and did the math, like I used to do this, I used to be an engineer. I went through college for that, so like I'm sure I could figure out the math and do the physics behind it, because this is basic physics. This is not in-depth physics. Oh, I forgot to. This is not like ridiculously in-depth physics. It's more on the basic side once you start learning them. Oh boy. It throws it so hard because it's on such a precarious edge here. Let me just reload it again. I apologize. But when you first go through any physics in any kind of like high school, even nowadays, or college level, that's the word I was looking for. I don't know why I got confused. So high school, college level, some people even do it in middle school. This is like the epitome of a physics kind of question because it utilizes, oh boy, that's just going to break every time now, isn't it? So I got to make sure that I don't launch it without anything. And now you're going to see every loading screen for the next 5 minutes straight because I have to keep loading. Luckily, I'm not like Nick's where my loading screen would make it so you can't watch because it would load for 5 minutes straight. But yeah, it is literally like a basic principles of physics equation. Like you see it all the time. It's very simplistic in terms of like how to solve it. You have equations. All you need to do is figure out mass of something, or you might need to add a couple definitions to it and everything. And it's just as simple as pi usually. In the same instance, I didn't forget by this time by the way. I just don't want to make the lever arm so long that it's ridiculous. In the same instance, though, it can be confusing. And when you're applying it to like something like this, you kind of don't really want to sit down and do the work. You just kind of want to guesstimate because you have the ability to. If this is like a real life application, you probably wouldn't have the ability to just sit here and break crap for half an hour and figure it out, Yeah, see, that's too long. See what I mean, though? Like, if you don't have the correct length for the sling if you have it too long. Like, I'll show you what happens when it's really short, too. I mean, that's a really good thing to do other than just speaking about it. Actually show you. I would have had this on a better platform, and I probably should have, like, connected something to it to make sure that it would be stationary. And the next time I build one, I'm going to do that, even though, like, it'd be better to make it, like, dynamic like this. So that's more realistic, and you get a better throw because things aren't welded to the ground, but I'll do it next time. But yeah, like with a shorter arm like this, see? So you can see it does throw a little bit farther because of how I built mine, which is pretty cool. But yeah, proof of concept wise, it works pretty good. It'd be faster if you use the tools they gave you in the game, though, like the throwing the rocks that they already have. I'd probably do that if I wasn't trying to demonstrate something instead of make this just like a total bust. Because if I use something like, say, my really, really crappy, like I threw that one together down there when I first got the game before I could figure out how things were working. So, like, you know, it's the same idea whenever think of it this way. If you got a set of Legos when you're a little kid, and you take those Legos out and then you find out that you don't have a box, like the instructions of how to build the particular thing you're trying to build, and then you try to do it just by the picture itself, or you try to do it just like manually in some weird way. That's the kind of idea that I'm going for here. It's like I was doing that one down there and I had no way of figuring out how to like switch this to this mode, you know, or like make any of the wooden connections you see here. So like all of these little pieces here, I didn't know how to rotate them. By the way, for anybody wanting to know, if you use home and end on the keyboard, it will flip them sideways so you can lay them down like that. I couldn't find that anywhere. It's probably written somewhere pretty obvious, and somebody's probably making fun of me right now, but I couldn't find it anywhere. We only figured it out today, Nick and I did. So, you know, it's one of those things where if you sit there and you try to figure it out on your own without knowing half of how things work before you just play and screw around first, it's so much harder. So much harder than when you know what you're doing. So, like, my first one was doomed from the start. There's no way it was going to work. Now I'm getting better and better at it, but I still need some work, as you can clearly tell. Like, that doesn't shoot as far as it should. It should shoot way, way farther than that, but what are you going to do, right? Regardless, though, I figured I might as well end this episode showing you some sort of proof of concept and that I have been working towards something. And our catapults work a lot better than our trebuchets, but I'll figure the trebuchet out at some point. So while I destroy this, I'll tell you now, since things are working, and I showed you that they're actually working and that the game wasn't freezing up anymore, with respect to destroying Nick's building, Nick and I will tomorrow for sure be recording the destruction of each other's castles, and this thing is not falling apart like it should. What is it? What is this voodoo? What is this voodoo? Fall. Yeah, that's what I thought. Stupid roof. Yeah. So that will be on schedule now. Again, I'm sorry that we wasted 2 days before we could do it. We had to figure this out, and it fixed itself. So anyway, that'll about do it for this one. I'm just going to break this piece of crap. Screw. This one was way too big. That's one of the major reasons, but it was solidly built. That's the reason why it didn't fall apart right away. So, but yeah, that'll about do it, though. We will see you guys tomorrow when Nick and I destroy each other's castles. Quote-unquote castles. That's weird. And hopefully that'll work better than it has been before. But I adore this game, and I'm going to keep building off camera and figure out some new stuff and get this trebuchet stuff working too. Maybe actually pull out my brain, you know, and take it out of the shell, dust it off, blow it, give it a couple warm-up activities, and then actually figure out the math on this. So maybe I can build something interesting. So anyway, thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and there will definitely be more of this video to come, and I might even eventually try to check out Space Engineers, because if it's anything similar to this, with different technology, of course, I definitely am interested, because this is fantastic. So thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one.